Carson-Newman takes down Emory and Henry. Final score was 88-48 here with the head coach, Mike Mincey. Andrew Rogers for the Eagles Sports Network. Coach, from the get-go, we got off to that 11-0 start. It was your defense that propelled your offense to so much success. What did you see from literally the start of the game that got you out to such a big lead that you held the entire game?
Yeah, got the ball inside. Obviously got some buckets out of Lindsey early. We got people making shots. And then the effort out of the press, following it into the front court was really good. I thought we stymied them a lot. We didn't give up easy stuff. Obviously, they just played a great game against Catawba, and it gave us a game to look at because they did a really good job against their press and scored out of it. So we tried to not give them that easy stuff. They got some of the stuff out of it, but for the most part, the effort and intensity was there. Our offense showed up like what we've been looking for. You can't expect to play that way every game, but that's more closer to the potential that I've been looking for out of our basketball team.
Tied the program record with steals in a game, had 24, but nobody had more than 3 in the game. So it was a bunch of different people. What did you see from so many different players that you saw on the floor and put out there make an impact on that end?
Well, we had good energy and good recognition out of what we were trying to do out of our press and try to change things up. And then they didn't play as conservative as maybe we've done in the past, trying to follow up some traps and put them in precarious situations and reading eyes and going and getting steals off errant passes, that were in the air a little bit too long. Like a lot of times we've stayed back too long on that kind of stuff. So granted, you got 24 of them. Steals are coming from a variety of ways. Those are the ones that I just remember, especially the ones that are coming out of the press or when they first get the ball in the front court and we're able to go down and get easy buckets out of points off turnovers.
Offensively, of course, a lot of the defense had a lot to do with it, but really took it inside, 48 points in the paint. And when the three-point shot wasn't falling, Lindsey obviously is always going to lead you in points in the paint. But what did you see from your team, not just settling after forcing the turnovers, but getting it inside and making those easy baskets?
Well, that's one of the things that we've been talking about is, you've seen that time and time again, whether we're getting stops, getting turnovers. You can't make a positive play and a negative play. We felt like against Newberry, there were a lot of plays. Actually, that's how we started out film the other day was I'm trying to make a positive bin and a negative bin. Well, they're all in the same bin because there's a positive play followed up right by a negative. And we're trying to just put more positive stuff together. So if we're coming down the floor, we don't want another turnover or a bad shot. We want to make sure that we get the right shot. I felt like we got the right shot, we made the right play, and we connected on those shots more often than we've been doing. And that's why you get the, 57-23 lead at the half.
Braylon and Lindsey lead you like usual, like you expect, with 20-plus points once again. But it seemed like even without anybody else in double figures, there were a lot of new faces that continued to make plays. Madeline Ladd had 9 off the bench. Carly Hayworth had a couple of threes. What does that continue to provide for you guys as this team moves forward throughout the year?
So back to the beginning of the question, because I think you'd ask about the inside presence and stuff like that. I mean, obviously Lindsey makes a big difference. I mean, if you add her last 3 games up, her shooting percentage is astounding. In the day, she's 11 for 15 from the field for 24 points. That's a real critical aspect. She had 4 offensive rebounds. I don't know how many of those she got putbacks on, but that presence alone allows anybody that we put in the game to be able to play better, be higher on the plus-minus chart, all that kind of stuff because of her presence. Braylon and Lindsey are our top 2 scorers, so we can get our top 2 scorers going on the same game. We usually get this kind of performance. And then, we've been trying to go deeper into the bench. It's just been a point of emphasis for us that we need to get young ones, whether they're sophomores or whether they're freshmen, more minutes on the floor, extended minutes, and letting them play through, we won't say sophomore, but letting them play through freshman mistakes and not just get jerked immediately. And, I think we're starting to see some of the fruits of that a little bit by trying to go to some of these talented freshmen and sophomores alike to give us a positive impact on the scoring.
We'll end talking about Braylon and Lindsey. You just honored them before the men's game. For Lindsey getting 1,000 points in her career and then Braylon breaking the scoring record here for Carson-Newman women's basketball. What have those two meant to this program, but what's it also meant to you to be able to coach them for most of their careers?
Well, Lindsey spent 1 year elsewhere, came back in. We wanted her out of high school, but she finally came back here. And, obviously our record since she's shown up, and Braylon as well, has been astounding. We feel like we can compete against anybody, honestly, anybody in the country because we have those 2 players to go along with the supporting cast. And, Braylon's been here longer. She's played more games. But her record and awards and accolades and some of the trophies and things that the championships we've been able to win, has been in large part, I won't say all of it, but in large part because we do have Braylon Weichel and Lindsey Taylor. I mean, they're fabulous players, players that a lot of people would like to have right now. I'm glad they chose Carson-Newman. I'm glad they chose us as their coaching staff, and it's certainly been a delight to coach them.